Hi everyone. Today we are going to focus on central idea because your focus standard for this week is about the central idea. And you are going to be able to answer a quick write question. How does the narrator's description of the Mr. Julius Caesar competition develop a central idea in the text? So we are going to use a chart to help us go through all the events so far leading up to the Mr. Julius and including the Mr. Julius Caesar competition. So you will be answering that question, and this chart is going to help you identify those central ideas that we've encountered throughout the text, trace the development of those ideas by noting how the author introduces, develops, or refines these ideas in the text, then also to cite textual evidence to support your work. So looking at how the author introduces, develops, or refines these ideas is a complex task. We're looking at characterization, word choice, events, that would be the plot, the setting even, and excuse me, back to that characterization piece of how these different characters, complex characters, pardon me, have interacted and the decisions they've made and how that creates central ideas. So you will be receiving this handout and you will receive at least 2 pages front and back. We are going to be filling this out. I'm going to help you a little bit with the page numbers and the central ideas to get you started, and you can make the notes and the connections. Here is an example from page 163. This is an example. You do not have to write this down. Just follow along with me on the text here. So on page 163, the central idea is the importance of history. So the narrator responds to the senator's question here in the notes and connections. And this is, let's back up a little bit, when the senator meets with Mr. Hundert. So Senator Bell, Cedric's father, meets with Mr. Hundert, the teacher, in his office. And the senator asks, what's the good of what you're teaching them boys? And so the connection we make here about the importance of history on page 163, I'm going to read the whole response. The narrator responds to the senator's question, what's the good of what you're teaching them boys, by explaining that studying history helps students understand the importance of character and high ideals. So this is part of one of the questions, the guided reading questions also that I asked you is, what does Mr. Hundert think that he is really teaching the boys through history? And he says it's to understand the importance of character and high ideals. So that's the importance of history. So that's an example of how you're going to fill it out. Page number here, the central idea, the importance of history, and the notes and connections that you make on this page. Okay, so it's telling you, well, you're going to explain what's going on. Like in this section, we know the narrator is responding to the senator's question, a quote from the text of what the senator asks, and then a quote that explains how the narrator, who is Mr. Hundert, responds. And his response demonstrates or is a good example of the importance of history. Okay, so I'm going to show you in your charts right now. You should have the papers. If you don't, you can pause this video and make sure you have the central idea charts. And I'm going to give you, I'm going to see if I can shrink this. I may not be able to, but I'm going to show you the, I can show you a lot. These are the answer keys. I'm going to show you the page number and the central ideas. Okay, I figured out what I need to do. On your paper, you are going to copy down the page number and the central ideas that I have posted here. Then you are going to fill in the notes and the connections. So on your paper right now, I want you to copy down these page numbers and the central ideas. And this is page 1. So you have page, move my video out of the way. You have page 155, 156, 157, 157, and 158, and they are all about the importance of history. So you may want to pause this video right now and then make sure that you are copying these page numbers down and the central idea. Then you will go back and fill in notes and connections about the importance of history on each of these pages. So go ahead and pause and copy these down. All right, I'm going to continue on. Of 158 at the bottom too is also the importance of history. So that's your first page. Now turn your paper over, and on your back page, you are going to write these page numbers down, 164, and then 164 through 165. And your central ideas are the expectations, and then in parentheses, the narrator's expectations of self. So pause the video and write that down. And that's only 2 of them. So you should have 3 or 4 more boxes. I want you to go ahead and fill these in. Page 166. Expectations, still the narrator's expectations of self. And then it changes a little bit on 164 and 167. It's still expectations, but it changes to the narrator's expectations of Sedgwick. And another entry on page 167, expectations, the narrator's expectations of Sedgwick again. And then we're going to go back to 167, expectations, but this time the narrator's expectation of self. So that should be the front and back of the first page, and it looks like it may be going to your second page. So if you need to pause, and if not, I'm going to move on, or you can move on. All right, on the next page, remember you should have 2 pages. You're going to fill in these page numbers, 168, 169, 169, 170, and 171. They're all expectations. But at the top, you have the narrator's expectations of Sedgwick and Sedgwick's expectations of self. 169 is just straightforward expectations. And then expectations, the parents' expectations of children. And that continues on for the last 3 entries. Pause here if you need to. And that's where we're going to stop for today, because the next chart starts on page 172 and we are not there yet. So we are going to pause there. Okay, so what I want you to do now is go back into the text and look at these specific pages and these central ideas and find evidence from the text, and then explain in your own words, what does that evidence demonstrate to the reader about expectations and the different types of expectations that people have of themselves, the characters have of themselves, that parents might have of children. And you're using a lot of inference here. And remember that inference is using your own experience combined with what you've read to create meaning. So when we're studying central ideas, we're looking at the diction or the words that the author uses, the characterization, the setting, the plot, and putting it all together and thinking about what is this author saying about expectations, or as you're doing in the first chart, the importance of history. So this is some heavy thinking, and this is what's expected for 10th grade. So once you're done with this, it should take you the whole period. Then you're going to take pictures of each page and upload it on Canvas. Once again, if your internet is slow at school, then take the picture and do it at home. Upload at home. If you have problems with the phone, or you don't have your phone, or you don't have a phone, then when you work on the Achieve 3000 assignment, you will use the laptop to upload your work. So these, I will be grading these, and you will get them uploaded for me. And that will wrap up our week. I am going to put the final question on Canvas for you to answer directly on Canvas. The question is, how does the narrator's description of the Mr. Julius competition develop a central idea in the text? So if you have any questions, email me on Canvas and I'll do my best to answer. I look forward to seeing you all again next week. And I hope you're having a great day and you're making good choices. Bye.